By the time the cops had her face down on my St. Augustine grass, she was still shrieking about community standards. "Ma'am, you are under arrest for obstruction and tampering with emergency service information," the taller officer said, reading from a card he absolutely did not need. This was clearly his favorite speech. "That's my house," she screeched, mascara leaking. "That's supposed to be my address." "No, Sandra," I said calmly from my porch, coffee in hand. "Your address is 2 doors down where it's always been. Before you started committing felonies with a Home Depot coupon. The swapped house numbers, hers on my brick, mine on hers, were lying in the flower bed between us like evidence in the dumbest crime drama ever made. The rest of Riverside Meadows watched from a safe distance. Phones out. Kids frozen mid-scooter. Dogs sitting like they knew this was history. Everyone staring at the Queen of Covenants and Facebook. Rants as she got cuffed on the very lawn she tried to find me over. She twisted her head toward me as the officer pulled her up. "This is your fault, Ethan," she spat. "You think you've won?" I took a sip of coffee and shrugged. "I didn't make you move my house numbers at midnight, Sandra. I just bought cameras 3 months earlier. My life had been aggressively normal before her." Ethan Cole, 38. Software engineer. Fond of quiet evenings, garage woodworking, and minding my own business. I bought my first house in Riverside Meadows. A planned community with beige houses, militant landscaping, and a mandatory HOA that bragged about being award-winning, which I later learned is HOA code for we own rulers and have no hobbies. The sales agent said the HOA was relaxed. That was a lie. The only thing relaxed were the speed bumps. Enter Sandra Withers, HOA president, self-appointed guardian of property values. A woman who treated CC and RS like scripture and herself like the prophet. She had the full HOA Karen starter kit. Immovable blonde bob, monogrammed clipboard, golf cart labeled security, and a Facebook group where she posted blurry trash can photos like crime scene evidence. My first mistake was ignoring her. No replies to welcome emails. Her neighbor packet went into a drawer. Then one Tuesday, a letter appeared. Notice of violation. Section 4.2b. Non-standard decorative element on mailbox. The violation? A tiny black metal owl. A housewarming gift from my sister. Smaller than Sandra's ego, apparently more dangerous. I complied. Technically. I moved it inside and emailed politely. No response. Just escalation. And that was only the beginning. Over the next month, Sandra treated my house like a personal side quest. Second notice of violation arrived without warning. Yard edge not uniform. Driveway has visible oil spots. Trash can placed 8 minutes prior to allowed time. 8 minutes. I checked my security footage like I was auditing a murder trial. Trash can out at 6:52 p.m. Rule said 7:00 p.m. They were serious. Down to the minute serious. I laughed and paid the $20 fine just to make it go away. That was mistake number 2, because to Sandra, payment wasn't compliance. It was submission. And now she had a new project. Me. She started inspecting my backyard by peering over the privacy fence with a stepladder. I caught her photographing my car because the inspection sticker was awkwardly placed. She sent an email implying my frequent Amazon deliveries, shelves, clamps, wood glue, might qualify as prohibited commercial activity. Apparently buying stuff meant I was secretly running a warehouse. Neighbors warned me quietly. Mike from 2 houses down leaned over his fence one evening and said, "That's what she does. She picks one house at a time. Last year it was the boat guy. Before that, the trampoline family. Can't we vote her out?" I asked. Mike laughed. "You know who shows up to HOA elections? Sandra, her 2 friends, and one guy who thinks it's about golf." I tried disengaging. Headphones in. No eye contact. Ignored her novel-length emails about community image. That's when she escalated. A certified letter arrived. Notice of hearing. Repeated violations. Non-compliance. Hostile communication. Possible liens. Hostile communication. I'd sent exactly 2 emails. Both started with hi. That's when I stopped laughing and started recording. Every interaction. Every drive-by. Every clipboard appearance. The real turning point wasn't a letter or a fine. It was the ambulance. 2 houses down lived Mr. Green, a retired teacher in his 70s. Quiet guy. Always waved. One night around 11:30, I heard sirens. They stopped near my house. I pulled up my camera feed. The ambulance slowed, stopped, rolled forward, then reversed. Paramedics stared at their tablets. One pointed at my house. Another pointed down the street. Then they jogged past my door to Mr. Green's. My phone buzzed. HOA group chat. Anyone know what's happening at 314? I thought Green was 318. No, 318 is that new guy with the owl. My stomach dropped. My address is 318. Mr. Green is 314. I stepped outside. My house had 314 on it. Mr. Green's had 318. When the paramedics came back out, one muttered. GPS said 318. House says 314. This neighborhood's a mess. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I pulled 30 days of footage. At 12:43 a.m., 3 nights earlier, Sandra appeared. Reflective vest, headlamp, yoga pants, calmly unscrewing my house numbers and swapping them with Mr. Green's, like she was fixing a typo. That's when this stopped being HOA nonsense and became something else entirely. I started digging, not emotionally, professionally. 2 weeks before the ambulance incident, Sandra had emailed me. Your house number font is non-standard and reduces visual cohesion. Please install board-approved numbers or corrective action may be taken. I'd ignored it because I assumed corrective action meant another nasty letter. Not committing a crime with a Phillips screwdriver at midnight. I Googled address tampering. Emergency services confusion. Mail interference. Every result said the same thing. Messing with house numbers isn't petty. Under the right circumstances, it's criminal. Especially when it delays emergency response. So I built a file. Timestamped security footage of Sandra swapping the numbers. Her threatening email. Logs from my smart lights showing activity at 12:43 a.m. Screenshots from the HOA. Facebook group confirming confusion during the ambulance call. I skipped the HOA entirely and went straight to the county. Sheriff and city code enforcement. The deputy went from bored to interested in 30 seconds. She intentionally moved your house numbers? Yes. And emergency services showed up late? Yes. He replayed the clip again. That's not nothing. Code enforcement was blunter. Interfering with address visibility is a public safety violation. Doing it intentionally? That's obstruction territory. A week later, every house in Riverside Meadows got an official notice. The city was investigating unauthorized address modifications. The Facebook group lost its mind. Who would do this? This is why we need stricter rules. Sandra herself commented that it was probably the new guy with the owl and accused me of being hostile. I appreciated the self-incrimination. 2 days later, a police cruiser and a city vehicle rolled in on a Saturday afternoon. Prime HOA patrol hours. They knocked on my door first. Mr. Cole, we're going to talk to Miss Withers. Stay nearby in case we need a statement. Front porch. I asked. He smiled. Perfect. Sandra was mid-inspection when they approached. Clipboard number 3. They explained why they were there. She scoffed. I'm authorized to ensure address consistency. You're not authorized to alter municipal addresses, the inspector said. Did you personally move these numbers? The deputy asked. I enforce compliance, she said. That's a yes. They asked her to sit on the curb. She refused. Raised her voice. Threatened her lawyer. Tried to walk away toward her golf cart. When the deputy took her arm, she yanked back and screamed, "Don't touch me. I'm the president of this subdivision." The silence was beautiful. Ma'am, the deputy sighed. You're under arrest. Cuffs came out. Clipboard hit the ground. Violation notices scattered like confetti. One drifted to my feet. Alleged offense. Unapproved porch chair color. They walked her past my house. This neighborhood will fall apart without me, she hissed. We'll risk it, I said. Phones were everywhere. Her reign ended on my lawn. Within days, the fallout spread faster than any HOA newsletter ever had. The emergency HOA meeting happened on Zoom. Because apparently even tyrants are braver behind mute buttons. Sandra was officially suspended pending legal outcomes. Her lawyer sent a stern email warning residents not to defame her. Several neighbors replied with links to the public arrest record. That email thread ended quickly. The city fined her for unauthorized address modification. Then the county DA got interested. When you can clearly connect reckless address tampering to a delayed emergency response for a senior neighbor, prosecutors start using words like enhancement and pattern. Sandra went from HOA president to cautionary tale almost overnight. Life in Riverside Meadows changed fast. An interim president was elected. Jared Tired accountant energy. He opened the first meeting with, "Will only enforce actual safety issues. If your grass is half an inch too long, congratulations. It's grass." Fines dropped. Inspections stopped. The Facebook group transformed from surveillance footage to garden tomatoes and lost dogs. I restored my house numbers to regulation font, extra reflective, double lit. My house practically screamed its address. Sandra, meanwhile, faced real consequences. Criminal record, community service, fines that made her old HOA penalties look like loose change. The universe saved its best punchline for last. Part of her community service involved helping the city run a Know Your Address safety campaign, flyers, presentations, helping seniors install large reflective numbers. Months later, I saw her in a nearby subdivision wearing an orange vest, handing out brochures about the importance of clearly marked house numbers. We locked eyes for half a second. Her expression said, "This is your fault." Mine said, "You did this with a screwdriver and hubris." Back home, the HOA quietly updated the governing documents. New clause: the association shall not alter or authorize alteration of legally assigned municipal addresses. Someone handwritten in the margin on the clubhouse copy, the Sandra rule. The moral is simple. HOAs can fine you for mulch. They can nag you about owls. But the law doesn't care about newsletters, fonts, or matching mailboxes. Swap hydrangeas, you get a warning. Swap house numbers, you get handcuffs. That's how an HOA Karen learns on your front lawn that some rules aren't hers to enforce.